As we move past the age of 60, or simply plan to live well into our later decades, the details of our diet matter more than ever. At this stage of life, small and consistent dietary choices can have an outsized impact on metabolic health, bone density, muscle preservation, inflammation control, and even sleep quality. Surprisingly, some of the most powerful tools for healthy aging are not exotic supplements or expensive superfoods, but humble seeds that often go unnoticed in everyday nutrition. Seeds such as chia, pumpkin, pepitas, flax, and sesame may appear small and ordinary, yet they pack an impressive concentration of fiber, minerals, essential fatty acids, and bioactive compounds. Each of them offers unique benefits that align closely with the physiological vulnerabilities we face as we grow older: declining insulin sensitivity, progressive bone loss, reduced muscle strength, hormonal shifts, and the increased burden of oxidative stress. What makes these seeds particularly valuable is not just their nutrient density, but their practicality. They are inexpensive, easy to incorporate into meals, and provide low-risk, high-leverage interventions that can complement the fundamentals of healthy aging: resistance training, quality protein intake, restorative sleep, and adequate omega-3s. In longevity, it's rarely about a single miracle food. It's about stacking small, sustainable gains that compound over time to preserve independence and resilience. With that in mind, let's explore each of these seeds in detail, beginning with one of the most unassuming yet metabolically powerful options: chia seeds. Chia seeds may look like nothing more than tiny black or white dots, but when examined closely, they turn out to be one of the most efficient nutrient delivery systems in the plant kingdom. Their greatest strength lies not in flavor, they are almost tasteless, but in function. For individuals over 60, chia seeds represent a low-cost, low-risk intervention that supports multiple systems at once: metabolic health, bone integrity, inflammation control, and satiety regulation. The foundation of chia's unique value is its macronutrient profile. More than 80% of its carbohydrate content is indigestible fiber, which means chia seeds are effectively very low in usable carbs and exert only a minimal glycemic impact. This makes them an attractive option for those who want to maintain insulin sensitivity, lower the risk of type 2 diabetes, or address the cluster of metabolic disturbances known as metabolic syndrome. These risks all rise with age, and even modest improvements in glycemic control can translate into significant protection over the years. Beyond metabolism, chia plays a notable role in bone health. Just 2 tablespoons, about 28 grams, contain roughly 179 milliliters of calcium, more calcium by weight than dairy milk. Importantly, calcium in chia does not stand alone. It comes paired with magnesium and phosphorus, 2 cofactors critical for proper bone mineralization. This trio helps the body maintain skeletal strength and resilience, which is particularly vital after menopause, when bone density loss accelerates and the risks of osteopenia and osteoporosis increase. Fragility fractures in older adults often mark not just a broken bone, but the beginning of a loss of independence. Thus, dietary strategies that subtly but consistently reinforce bone health are invaluable. Chia's fat profile provides another dimension of benefit. It is one of the richest plant sources of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a form of omega-3 fatty acid. While the body's conversion of ALA to the marine-derived omega-3s EPA and DHA is limited, typically less than 5%, ALA is not without its own benefits. It has been shown to exert independent anti-inflammatory effects, especially when balanced with a diet that is otherwise high in omega-6 fats. For those who do not consume fatty fish regularly or who do not take fish oil, chia can act as a partial safety net, ensuring at least some omega-3 support, even though it should not be relied upon exclusively. Perhaps the most striking property of chia is its soluble fiber and mucilage content. When chia seeds are combined with liquid, They expand and form a gel-like matrix. This gel slows gastric emptying, flattens post-meal glucose spikes, and prolongs satiety. In practice, this means that consuming chia before or alongside a carbohydrate-heavy meal can blunt the rise in blood sugar and insulin, reducing stress on the body's metabolic system. Moreover, the fermentable fiber acts as a prebiotic, nourishing beneficial gut bacteria and supporting a healthier microbiome, an emerging cornerstone of longevity. Although the research is still developing, several small randomized controlled trials have reported measurable, though modest, effects. These include slight increases in HDL cholesterol, small decreases in C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, and reduced post-meal glucose and insulin responses. While none of these changes are dramatic on their own, they represent meaningful nudges in the right direction, especially when combined with other lifestyle interventions like resistance training and adequate protein intake. Speaking of protein, chia contributes 4 to 5 grams per ounce. While this is not a complete protein, its amino acid profile lacks certain essentials, it can still support daily protein distribution, particularly in plant-based diets where variety and timing are crucial. Chia is relatively rich in glutamine, important for gut repair, and arginine, which plays a role in nitric oxide production and vascular health. One of chia's most underrated strengths is its ease of use. Unlike many so-called superfoods, chia requires no elaborate preparation. A spoonful can be added to yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothies, or soaked with almond milk and spices to create a nutrient-dense pudding. Convenience matters because the best dietary strategies are not those optimized on paper, but those people can stick to consistently. For practical purposes, the recommended intake is 1 to 2 tablespoons per day. Soaking chia for 20–30 minutes before eating allows the mucilage to form properly and enhances its digestive and metabolic effects. Drinking enough water alongside is also important, since dry chia can absorb fluid in the gut and potentially cause discomfort if fiber intake is otherwise low. While chia is generally well tolerated, consuming it in very high amounts without adequate hydration or dietary fiber background may lead to bloating or digestive distress. In summary, chia seeds deliver fiber-driven metabolic control, bone-supporting minerals, plant-based omega-3s, and practical satiety management in a single, effortless package. They are not a miracle food, but they are a multi-purpose ally in the pursuit of aging well, 1 tablespoon at a time. While chia seeds are often praised for their fiber and gel-forming properties, pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas, offer a completely different but equally valuable spectrum of benefits. Compact and unassuming, these green seeds carry a dense package of minerals, protein, and bioactive compounds that specifically target many of the vulnerabilities that arise with age: declining muscle strength, reduced metabolic efficiency, hormonal changes, immune challenges, and disrupted sleep. For individuals over 60, they represent an exceptionally convenient, shelf-stable, and nutrient-rich addition to daily eating habits. One of the most important features of pumpkin seeds is their magnesium content. Just 1 ounce, 28 G, contains approximately 150–170 milligrams of magnesium, which covers roughly 30 to 50% of the daily requirement. 420 milligrams for men over 50 and 320 milligrams for women. This is a crucial contribution because magnesium deficiency is widespread, especially in older adults. Suboptimal magnesium status impairs mitochondrial performance, leading to reduced cellular energy output, slower recovery, and greater fatigue. It also worsens insulin resistance, a major driver of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Beyond metabolism, magnesium is indispensable for neuromuscular transmission. Adequate levels help maintain the proper firing of muscles by nerves, which can counteract dynapenia, the age-related decline in muscle strength that occurs even when muscle mass is preserved. By supporting coordination and reflexes, magnesium indirectly protects against falls, one of the greatest threats to independence in late life. Equally noteworthy is the zinc content of pumpkin seeds. A 1-ounce serving provides about 2.2 milligrams or 20% of the daily requirement. Zinc is best known for its role in immune function, but its influence extends much further. It is a key cofactor in the synthesis of anabolic hormones, including testosterone, which is vital not only for men but also for women, particularly after menopause when sex hormone levels drop sharply. Sufficient zinc intake supports muscle protein synthesis, libido, and bone density. It also plays a role in wound healing, inflammation regulation, and cell replication. Given that zinc deficiency can quietly erode multiple systems at once, pumpkin seeds serve as a convenient safeguard. Another mineral that makes pumpkin seeds valuable is iron, with 2 to 3 milligrams per ounce. While plant-based iron, non-heme iron, is not as efficiently absorbed as animal-derived heme iron, absorption can be enhanced significantly when consumed with vitamin C-rich foods such as citrus or peppers. Iron is essential for oxygen transport in red blood cells, which directly affects stamina, cognition, and energy levels. For older adults who may cut back on red meat due to health concerns, appetite loss, or lifestyle changes, pumpkin seeds can help prevent the creeping fatigue and cognitive fog associated with iron deficiency. In terms of macronutrients, pumpkin seeds are also a surprisingly robust protein source, delivering about 7 grams per ounce. Importantly, they contain meaningful levels of leucine, the amino acid most responsible for triggering muscle protein synthesis, MPS, through the mTOR pathway. This is especially relevant in aging physiology, where a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance requires older adults to consume larger protein doses with higher leucine content to achieve the same anabolic response as younger individuals. While pumpkin seeds alone cannot replace high-quality animal proteins, they can make a valuable contribution when distributed across meals throughout the day, ensuring that muscles receive consistent stimulation for growth and maintenance. Pumpkin seeds also shine in the area of sleep and recovery, thanks to their high concentration of tryptophan, an essential amino acid. With more than 500 mg per ounce, pumpkin seeds are among the richest plant-based sources available. Tryptophan serves as a precursor for serotonin, which in turn is converted into melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles. For older adults who often experience fragmented sleep and reduced deep sleep, consuming tryptophan-rich foods in the evening, particularly when paired with carbohydrates to aid brain uptake, may enhance melatonin production and improve sleep quality. Deeper, more restorative sleep supports hormonal balance, glucose regulation, tissue repair, and cognitive resilience, all of which are critical for healthy aging. The antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties of pumpkin seeds add yet another dimension. They contain polyphenols, tocopherols, vitamin E compounds, and phytosterols, which help mitigate oxidative stress and inflammation. These compounds may reduce LDL cholesterol oxidation, a key early step in the formation of atherosclerotic plaque, and provide protection against chronic conditions linked to excess oxidative load. While human evidence is still developing, the mechanistic plausibility is strong and aligns with broader dietary strategies for cardiovascular and metabolic health. From a practical standpoint, pumpkin seeds are hard to beat. They are shelf-stable, do not require refrigeration, and have no impact on blood sugar levels. They can be eaten by the handful as a snack or incorporated into salads, smoothies, yogurt, oatmeal, or trail mix. They can even be ground into a butter-like spread, offering variety and convenience. For older adults with smaller appetites or difficulty consuming large meals, the nutrient density of pumpkin seeds in such a small volume is a distinct advantage. That said, pumpkin seeds should be understood in context. They are not a replacement for complete protein sources, nor can they substitute for the benefits of resistance training, quality sleep, or regular physical activity. Rather, they are a low-friction, high-leverage addition to a comprehensive approach that includes protein optimization, muscle-strengthening exercise, and metabolic support. In summary, pumpkin seeds deliver a trifecta of essential minerals: magnesium, zinc, iron, meaningful amounts of protein and leucine, sleep-supportive tryptophan, and antioxidant compounds that together address many aspects of age-related decline. Convenient, versatile, and nutrient-dense, they exemplify how small daily habits can reinforce resilience and functionality over time. Among the various seeds that can support longevity, flax seeds, also known as linseed, stand out as a quiet but versatile powerhouse. While they may not capture as much attention as chia or pumpkin seeds, flax seeds offer a unique combination of fiber, plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, and lignans that target multiple age-related vulnerabilities at once, ranging from glucose control and lipid metabolism to inflammation and hormonal balance. For individuals over 60, flax seeds represent one of the simplest and most effective nutritional levers available. The first and perhaps most important feature of flax seeds is their fiber content. About 27% of the seed's weight comes from fiber, with a large portion being soluble fiber. When consumed, this soluble fiber absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance in the gut. This gel has several important physiological effects. It slows gastric emptying, flattens post-meal glucose and insulin spikes, and increases satiety, all of which are essential for metabolic stability in aging populations. Moreover, soluble fibers act as a substrate for fermentation by gut bacteria, producing short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, like butyrate. SCFAs are increasingly recognized for their role in reducing low-grade chronic inflammation, often termed inflammaging, maintaining the integrity of the intestinal barrier and supporting immune regulation. These mechanisms are not only theoretical. Numerous small randomized controlled trials, RCTs, and meta-analyses have shown that flaxseed consumption can lead to measurable improvements in metabolic health. Regular intake has been associated with reductions in fasting glucose and HbA1c levels, particularly in individuals with type 2 diabetes. Flax seeds have also demonstrated benefits for lipid profiles, especially in lowering LDL cholesterol. In fact, a meta-analysis reported an average LDL reduction of about 10 mg/dL in hyperlipidemic individuals, a change that carries significant clinical relevance when maintained long-term. Beyond fiber, flax seeds are also an important plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. Just 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed provides 1.6 to 1.8 g of ALA, a quantity similar to what is found in many fish oil capsules. However, ALA differs from the marine omega-3s EPA and DHA. The body converts only 5 to 10% of ALA to EPA and less than 1% to DHA. Despite this low conversion rate, ALA is not biologically inert. Research suggests that it has independent vascular and anti-inflammatory effects, altering cell membrane composition, supporting endothelial function, and contributing to cardiovascular protection. Higher dietary ALA intake has been linked to a lower risk of myocardial infarction and sudden cardiac death in observational studies. For individuals who consume little or no fatty fish, flax seeds can serve as an important baseline source of omega-3s, though they should not replace marine sources if the goal is to optimize retinal and cognitive function, where DHA is particularly critical. What truly sets flax seeds apart from other seeds, however, is their exceptional concentration of lignans. Flax is by far the richest dietary source of these phytoestrogenic compounds, which have a structural resemblance to estrogen but act more like selective estrogen receptor modulators, SERMs. This means that lignans can either mildly mimic or block estrogen activity depending on the tissue, providing a form of hormonal buffering. For postmenopausal women who experience sharp declines in estrogen, lignans may help alleviate certain symptoms such as hot flashes while also supporting lipid metabolism, bone health, and cognitive function. Studies have shown beneficial effects of lignans on breast cancer biomarkers, and they may provide protective modulation without the risks associated with synthetic hormone replacement. In terms of cardiovascular outcomes, lignans combined with flax fiber appear particularly powerful. Beyond LDL reductions, flax seeds have been shown to affect blood pressure regulation. A well-known RCT published in 2013 provided participants with 30 g of ground flax seed per day for 6 months. The results were striking. Systolic blood pressure dropped by about 10 mmHg and diastolic by about 7 mmHg, a magnitude comparable to first-line antihypertensive medications. Although further replication is needed, this finding highlights the strong potential of flax seeds as a natural adjunct for cardiovascular health. From a practical perspective, how flax seeds are consumed matters greatly. Whole seeds often pass through the digestive system undigested, meaning their nutrients remain inaccessible. For full benefits, they should be consumed in ground form. Ideally, flax should be ground fresh or purchased as ground seeds in sealed packaging, since their high polyunsaturated fat content makes them prone to oxidation. Once ground, flax should be stored in an airtight container and used within a few weeks. The effective daily intake used in most studies is about 2 to 3 tablespoons, roughly 30 g. This amount delivers approximately 8 g of fiber, 6 g of protein, and 6 g of ALA, along with a robust dose of lignans. However, individuals new to flax should start with smaller amounts and increase gradually, while also ensuring adequate water intake to minimize gastrointestinal discomfort. Culinary versatility is another advantage. Ground flax can be easily mixed into yogurt, oatmeal, and smoothies, incorporated into baked goods, or even used as an egg substitute in vegan recipes. 1 tablespoon flax plus 3 tablespoons water equals 1 flax egg. Its mild, nutty flavor makes it easy to integrate without disrupting taste, which is key for long-term adherence. In summary, flax seeds bring together 3 rare and highly valuable nutritional features: soluble fiber for glucose and lipid regulation, plant-based omega-3s for cardiovascular support, and lignans for hormone modulation and anti-inflammatory effects. They are not a panacea, but they represent a low-cost, low-risk, and high-reward intervention that touches multiple aging pathways simultaneously. For those seeking practical tools to maintain resilience and function into later decades, flax seeds deserve a permanent place at the table. Sesame seeds are among the most ancient foods in human diets, appearing in culinary traditions from the Middle East to East Asia. Despite their long history, they are often relegated to the role of garnish, sprinkled on bread, scattered over stir-fries, or blended into tahini. Yet beneath their small size and subtle flavor lies an impressive nutritional profile, one that makes sesame seeds particularly well-suited for supporting healthy aging. With their unique mineral composition, powerful lignans, and lipid-modulating properties, sesame seeds provide a multi-system contribution to longevity that is both practical and affordable. 1. Bone health, the mineral trio. One of the standout features of sesame seeds is their unusually high content of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, a trio of minerals essential for skeletal strength. A 1-ounce serving provides about 280 milliliters of calcium, covering roughly 30% of the recommended daily intake for women over 50, a group especially vulnerable to bone loss after menopause. This makes sesame one of the richest non-dairy dietary sources of calcium, particularly valuable for those following plant-based or dairy-free diets. But calcium alone is not enough. Its proper utilization depends on magnesium and phosphorus. Magnesium helps regulate calcium transport, ensuring that calcium is deposited in bone rather than in arteries, thereby reducing the risk of vascular calcification. Phosphorus, meanwhile, combines with calcium to form hydroxyapatite, the crystalline structure that provides rigidity and resilience to bone. Together, this mineral synergy positions sesame as a natural skeletal maintenance food, providing raw materials for bone remodeling at a stage in life when bone breakdown accelerates. In addition, sesame seeds supply about 2 megatons of zinc per ounce. Zinc plays a dual role. It supports osteoblast activity, the cells responsible for bone formation, and aids in anabolic hormone regulation, including testosterone. Even mild zinc deficiency can weaken bone mineral density and impair muscle protein synthesis, compounding age-related frailty. By providing these key minerals in a single package, sesame seeds serve as a comprehensive dietary ally for bone preservation. 2. Antioxidant and detoxification effects. Beyond minerals, sesame seeds contain unique lignans, particularly sesamin and sesamol, which have potent biological effects. Unlike simple antioxidants that merely scavenge free radicals, lignans work by upregulating the body's own defense systems. They increase the activity of enzymes such as superoxide dismutase, SOD, and glutathione peroxidase, GPX, which form part of the body's core antioxidant network. Sesame lignans also influence cytochrome P450 enzymes, which are responsible for metabolizing hormones, drugs, and toxins. By modulating these pathways, sesame may improve the efficiency of liver detoxification, reduce the burden of reactive oxygen species, ROS, and provide neuroprotection. These effects are particularly relevant to aging when oxidative stress accumulates and the body's natural defenses weaken. In this sense, sesame seeds act less like a direct antioxidant supplement and more like a metabolic regulator, nudging the system toward balance. 3. Lipid metabolism and cardiovascular health. Cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide, particularly among older adults. Here, sesame seeds demonstrate another area of influence. They provide a favorable fat profile containing both monounsaturated MUFA and polyunsaturated PUFA fatty acids, as well as phytosterols. Together, these compounds contribute to a rare and beneficial lipid-modifying trifecta, lowering LDL cholesterol and triglycerides while increasing HDL cholesterol. Sesame's effects go beyond simple cholesterol numbers. Lignans and vitamin E compounds present in the seeds help reduce oxidation of LDL particles. Since oxidized LDL is a critical trigger for atherosclerosis, reducing it may be even more important than lowering total LDL. Research also suggests sesame compounds can downregulate lipogenic enzymes in the liver, thereby reducing hepatic triglyceride production. This has potential implications for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, a condition increasingly common even in older adults of normal weight. Taken together, sesame's impact on lipid metabolism, liver fat, and vascular integrity makes it a valuable nutritional tool for heart and liver health. 4. Glucose control and insulin sensitivity. Although not as dramatic as chia or flax, sesame seeds appear to support blood sugar regulation in subtle but meaningful ways. Experimental evidence suggests that sesame lignans can increase levels of adiponectin, a hormone that improves insulin sensitivity, and enhance peripheral glucose uptake in muscle cells. The result is a modest reduction in post-meal blood glucose levels. While these effects are not strong enough to replace medication or exercise, they may synergize with resistance training, intermittent fasting, and other dietary strategies to nudge metabolism toward greater balance. For older adults managing multiple risk factors, Even these small shifts matter in the long run. 5. Hormonal modulation in postmenopausal. Women like flax seeds, sesame seeds contain phytoestrogens, plant-derived compounds with mild estrogen-like activity. These act as selective estrogen receptor modulators, SERMs, meaning they can either stimulate or block estrogen receptors depending on context. For postmenopausal women, sesame phytoestrogens may provide a gentle hormonal buffer. A double-blind study found that consuming 50 g of sesame seed powder daily improved lipid profiles, boosted antioxidant status, and increased circulating estrogen levels in postmenopausal women. While sesame should not be considered a replacement for hormone replacement therapy, HRT, it may offer a dietary complement, helping mitigate some of the metabolic and vascular challenges that accompany declining estrogen. 6. Neuroprotection and vitamin E. Another noteworthy aspect of sesame seeds is their high content of gamma-tocopherol, a form of vitamin E with distinct anti-inflammatory properties. Unlike alpha-tocopherol, gamma-tocopherol is particularly effective at neutralizing reactive nitrogen species, RNS, such as peroxynitrite, which are implicated in the pathogenesis of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. As the aging brain becomes increasingly vulnerable to oxidative stress, sesame's combination of lignans and gamma-tocopherol may help protect neuronal integrity, contributing to better cognitive resilience. This is one reason sesame oil has been studied not only for vascular benefits, but also for enhanced cognitive performance. 7. Sesame oil, a concentrated but incomplete option. Cold-pressed sesame oil deserves mention as a concentrated form of sesame's active compounds. Studies suggest that replacing other cooking oils with sesame oil can reduce blood pressure, improve vascular elasticity, and enhance cognitive performance. This likely reflects the concentration of lignans such as sesamin and sesamol, along with its unsaturated fat profile. However, sesame oil should not be viewed as a replacement for whole seeds. It lacks the fiber, protein, and minerals that make sesame seeds a complete nutritional package. Used alongside whole seeds, though, sesame oil can serve as a convenient adjunct, particularly in Mediterranean and Asian-style diets. 8. Practical applications. Incorporating sesame seeds into daily life is straightforward. Just 1.5 to 2 tablespoons per day are enough to yield measurable benefits without adding excessive calories. They can be sprinkled on salads, soups, or stir-fries, blended into smoothies or yogurt bowls, ground into tahini for dips and dressings, lightly toasted to enhance flavor, though prolonged high heat should be avoided to protect bioactive compounds. Because sesame seeds are shelf-stable, inexpensive, and culturally familiar worldwide, they represent one of the most accessible interventions for long-term health maintenance. Sesame seeds will never be marketed as miracle cures or flashy superfoods, but that is precisely their strength. They deliver consistent, multi-targeted benefits across systems that matter most with age: bone integrity, vascular health, metabolic balance, hormonal modulation, and neuroprotection. They provide the raw materials for bone structure, reinforce antioxidant defenses, fine-tune lipid metabolism, and offer gentle hormonal support. In the larger framework of longevity, sesame seeds remind us that effective interventions do not need to be exotic or expensive. Sometimes they are the foods we overlook, quietly present on the kitchen shelf, waiting to be used. For individuals seeking not just a longer lifespan, but a longer health span, sesame seeds represent one more low-risk, high-leverage tool. Combined with resistance training, protein optimization, quality sleep, and other seeds discussed earlier, they form part of a holistic nutritional strategy aimed at preserving independence, vitality, and resilience well into advanced years. When we think about aging well, the focus is often on big interventions, medications, therapies, or specialized diets. Yet the truth is that longevity is built on small, consistent choices that compound over time. Seeds like chia, pumpkin, flax, and sesame may seem humble, but together they form a nutritional foundation that supports nearly every system challenged by age: metabolism, bones, muscles, hormones, cardiovascular health, and even the brain. Each seed brings a unique advantage. Chia stabilizes blood sugar and provides bone-supporting calcium. Pumpkin seeds supply magnesium, zinc, and tryptophan for strength, energy, and sleep. Flax seeds contribute soluble fiber, omega-3s, and lignans to balance glucose, lipids, and hormones. Sesame seeds deliver a mineral trio for skeletal health, lignans for antioxidant defense, and phytoestrogens for gentle hormonal support. None of these are miracle foods on their own, but when used daily, they offer low-cost, low-risk leverage that keeps the body resilient. The real goal is not just to add years to life, but to add life to years, to stay strong enough to carry groceries, clear-headed enough to enjoy conversation, and independent enough to live with dignity. 1 tablespoon at a time, these seeds provide simple, practical tools for achieving that. In the pursuit of healthy aging, they deserve more than a garnish on the plate. They deserve a place at the center of the strategy.